Good afternoon, dear students. I hope you all and your family members are well at this moment and all are safe at home. Let's start today's topics, that is parietal bone. Today is 18th May 2020. As lockdown is going on and the COVID situation is deteriorating day by day, we have stopped our regular classes and we have started this type of classes. So come to the topics. Let's start the parietal bone. You already have learned about the articulated skull. Skull is formed by which bones, and you have seen all the bones also. And later individual bones have been started by different teachers as per the schedule. Frontal bone, temporal bone, occipital bone already have completed. My topic is parietal bone. Before that, look at the articulated skull carefully. Look at the bones. This is the frontal bone, this is temporal bone, and this is occipital bone, which you have learned already. This is maxilla, okay, this is orbit, and this bones which is forming the roof of the skull, articulated skull, and the major portion of the side, that is parietal bone. Okay, look at the parietal bone. It is almost quadrilateral in shape. In front, frontal bone, the frontal bone itself is forming a suture, that is coronal suture, with the parietal bone. This is the coronal suture, okay, and behind there is another suture, okay, this is lambdoid suture, and here is another suture which is formed in between the two parietal bones of both sides, and this is sagittal suture. And every parietal bone has 4 borders and 4 angles and 2 surfaces. 4 borders, this is anterior border which is forming the coronal suture. This is superior border forming the sagittal suture, and this is posterior border or occipital border forming the lambdoid suture, okay, and this is inferior border, and the inferior border is articulated with the temporal bone and the greater wing of the sphenoid. The greater wing of the sphenoid is attached with the parietal bone at the anterior inferior angle. So there are 4 angles: anterior inferior angle, posterior inferior angle, anterior superior angle, posterior superior angle, okay. And in the articulated skull, you can see that there are 2 major prominent areas in the parietal bones. These 2, and these 2 are called parietal tuber or parietal eminence or parietal tuberosity, from where the ossification of the parietal bone starts, okay. So this is parietal bone, separated or disarticulated parietal bone. Here you can see anterior border, superior border, posterior border, and inferior border. Now come to the side determination. How to determine the side of the parietal bone, okay. Look at the 4 borders: anterior border, superior border, posterior border, inferior border. Okay, among the four borders, the inferior border is totally different from the others. Anterior border is serrated, superior border is also serrated, and posterior border also, and inferior border it is beveled. Okay, so beveled border is inferior border. Okay, so to determine the side, the lateral, medial or superior, inferior, determination is beveled border is inferior. And now come to anterior, posterior. Okay, in case of anterior and posterior, look at the angle, anterior inferior and posterior inferior angle. Anterior inferior angle is sharp and pointed. Okay, and posterior inferior is not so prominent. So the pointed sharp angle is anterior inferior angle. If this is anterior inferior angle, so this border is anterior border and this is posterior border. So superior border, inferior border, anterior border, posterior border. Okay, and now come to the surface. There are two surfaces of the parietal bone. Okay, the external surface and the internal surface. The external surface is smooth and convex, and internal surface is not so smooth. This is rough and concavity is there. So smooth external surface, anterior border determined by anterior inferior angle, and inferior border determined by this smaller beveled border. So this is right sided parietal bone. Come to the another bone. In these bones, look at the borders and the surface. This is beveled inferior border. Okay, so this is medially superior border and this is inferior border. So lateral and medial. Now come to the anterior, posterior. Look at these angles. So this is sharp pointed anterior inferior angle. Okay, so this should be the anterior border and this is the posterior border. Okay, so this is left sided parietal bone. Now come to the surfaces. Okay, external surface, features of the external surface. What are the main features? We already have discussed about the tuber, from where the ossifications of the parietal bone starts. Primarily there are two primary ossification center at the 7th week of intrauterine life. Then the two ossification center are united and then the ossification completed radially, that is centrifugally. Suppose this is the center and from here ossification starts like this. Okay, so this is tuber. Behind the tuber there lies the part of the brain, that is sensory area, that is part of brain, that is post central gyri, and anterior to that is precentral gyri. We will discuss this later. Now come to another lines, another features, that is there is two lines. This is the superior temporal line and this is the inferior temporal line. Look here, superior temporal line, inferior temporal line. Look here, superior temporal line and inferior temporal line. What are the function of these lines? From the superior temporal line, the attachment of the